all the work. The key reason is that you can save thousands of dollars. 1 to 2% of commission charges for an $800,000 apartment comes to $8,000 to $16,000. And it's one of the main reasons why people have been coming to this Housing and Development Board resale seminar. The seminar teaches you all that you need to know about selling or buying an HDB flat, including the paperwork. HDB says they have seen a growing interest in its seminar since 1995.
For the past few years, our seminar has been fully booked. We see a full attendance of about 100 participants per each seminar, and we hold this seminar on a regular basis. What we see on the ground is there's this keen interest for buyers and sellers to know more about the policies and procedures, regardless of whether they intend to do a DIY transaction or they intend to engage a salesperson.
HDB recommends that DIY sellers or buyers know what the policies are and the procedures that you need to consider.
The checklist actually highlights key policies and procedures that they should take note of before committing to a transaction. For sellers, I can just share among others, they should check if they have fulfilled the minimum occupation period and if they have sufficient funds to buy another flat, if that is the plan. For buyers, they should check if they are eligible to buy a HDB resale flat, and they should also take into consideration their finances, how they are going to pay for their purchase.
No is correct.
So what is the main difference in the procedures for someone selling the property themselves versus engaging a property agent?
For a DIY seller and buyer, they would be doing it on their own. If they have engaged the services of a salesperson, the salesperson would help to facilitate the transaction. So salesperson would probably help to market the flat, for example, and if we talk about paperwork, salesperson can submit the application on their behalf.
More details about the seminars can be found at hdb.gov.sg. But if you still prefer hiring a property agent, how about letting agents bid for the right to sell your property? That's what hirepropertyagent.com.sg is offering on its website. It says you can compare and select the property agent based on certain criteria, which includes commission charges, track record, and previous customer feedback. But if you prefer the traditional route of finding a property agent, how about finding one that is familiar with your locality and has a track record of selling property in your area? Singapore Real Estate Exchange, or SRX, has come up with a way for sellers and buyers alike to find out if a property agent is a specialist in a particular locality. SRX calls them qualified transactors. So how does SRX determine if an agent is a qualified transactor?
They must have a recent sales, of course, and the recent sales, we define it as last 12 to 18 months. Whether they have attended any trainings on real estate negotiations, on landed properties, or on investments and commercial property. So we have all 10 over training sessions that we conduct for the agents, and we track their performance in these trainings. So that is something that is important to a consumer, right? They invest in themselves, they invest in the knowledge. And the second thing is, of course, a network. Network means that we have what we call the internal co-broking circles, it's called the SRX circles, that agents that usually focus in a certain area will gather around and share privileged information within that private network and make the deals more efficient.
And you can find out all this information for free via its website, srx.com.sg. Through the website, MoneyMind found one of the property agents classified as a qualified transactor by SRX. Tanza Wei from Orange Tea specializes in properties in District 3 and 9. And he explains why qualified transactors give their clients an edge.
The qualified transactor most likely has some experience in the unit, in the condominium, probably is more familiar in the surrounding, the environment, and probably has also run through some of the objections, some of the unique selling points of the apartments. So that would give a little bit more edge to the qualified transactor compared to, say, an agent who hasn't transacted in the area before. And I think this familiarity and experience adds up to, for the sellers. Ultimately, you're dealing with someone who has experience selling the product before.
At the end of the day, Zerway says clients need to research to find the right property agent for them.
Whether be it selling real estate or any product, when you have a salesman, clients need to verify for themselves whether or not the salesman can be trusted. They have certain form of integrity and ethical practices and foundation. So for me, I personally think is a lot of verification, a lot of personal touch to it. And of course, another way that has been going on in this circle is by referral. So, if you have a friend who has a good real estate agent, chances are you will also likely use him.
So just like any investment, buyers and sellers need to do their own research on whether to use a property agent or not, and which agent to choose if they're not planning to sell or buy the property on their own.